Yeah, that makes sense. Well, this is us. We're getting ready. We are at Hog Camp campsite. There's a trailhead, place to park right up here. This is where we slept 2 different nights. Yesterday we went southbound about 6.5 miles back to VA 60, and I've forgotten the name of the gap down there. And we came back here and camped out last night because we were just tired and it was good for us to take a day. And we're headed about 14 miles today to the Priest. And I'm afraid that our 14 miles is going to be at least partially in the rain, but hey, we've been lucky. It's been unbelievably fortunate how we have not had to deal with bad weather to speak of at all. So if we have to hike a day in the rain, hey, we deserve it. It's long overdue. And we'll make the very, very best of it, and it'll all be good. Gavin just realized that his pack cover's at the bottom, but it happens. So anyway, we're gonna head on out here just shortly and we'll talk to you soon on the trail. Well, we're on trail this morning. We got ups and downs today, just kind of an undulating ridge walk. We don't ever go up or down hugely anywhere. So we'll sort of see how it goes today. We got a little over 14 miles to get to the Priest shelter. We got one halfway through to stop at lunch. Don't remember the name of that one, but it's threatening rain today. I think we're likely going to get wet, and we're due. I'd rather not, but God's got to water the plants. And you know, as I said, we've been very fortunate with weather to not have to deal too much with rain or cold or weather, snow and sleet. So if we have to hike a day in the rain, that's the way it is. So anyway, we're moving on up the trail. Right now we've got kind of a ditch in the grass, but I know we'll get out here in the woods in a little bit and it'll widen out a little bit and be a little easier to traverse. I don't know how I got so far out in front this morning. I just stepped off first, and it's kind of an odd thing because when I'm following, sometimes I have a hard time keeping up. It seems like when I'm in front, I tend to walk out. And I'm sure there's some psychology behind that somewhere. But anyway, we're heading on ahead. We got some mountains in front of us. I just tend to stay off of those today. But we'll go wherever the trail goes, and it'll be good. Well, just came on this rock wall. Definitely not a natural phenomenon. I don't believe. Somebody stacked up a bunch of rocks over here. Not sure why, but it's kind of nice to look at. And they're not on the trail, so that's a good thing. But, anyway, heading off through the woods a little bit. Finally got out of the field, almost. Still got grass, but that's okay. It'll all be good. Just kind of going up and down and undulating today, at least according to the way I look at the map, which usually means we're going to get a major uphill that I didn't see, but hopefully not. We'll see how things go. Well, that's different. I don't know what that orange thing is. I think it's not natural. I think it's dying. It's kind of like a blackberry that's having a struggle right now. And we got ferns. Those are nice. Look at the detail on those. Yep. Lots of green out here today. I think we're finally understanding what it means to be in the green tunnel. Because we've got green on the ground, green beside us, and green on top of us. Well, 100 yards later, and we've got a wow. And this would be an incredible wow if the weather were not socked in a little bit today. You can see all over the place out here. All these mountains and valleys and plants and rocks, and wow, God made this. And it's good. And I'm blessed to be hiking in it. And that's one of the things that regardless of how tired our feet are or how heavy our packs are or how we're feeling in the day or whatever, I try really hard not to lose sight of the fact that we're in God's country, and that it's a blessing to be here. You know, one of the things that I pray in the mornings is a prayer of thanks for the opportunity and the ability to be making this trip, because there's not a lot of folks that have either. You know, there's a lot of folks that would have the ability that don't have the opportunity, and there's some folks that have the opportunity that wouldn't have the ability. And we're blessed to have both, and we're blessed to be with other people that share our beliefs and our values. We laugh together and we pray together and we help each other out, and it's just such a blessing. I think I mentioned yesterday that one of my primary goals for this trip was to be able to draw closer to God through nature. And when we sat together or stood together yesterday with Paul and Austin and the rest of our crowd and shared a meal together of bread and wine, Holy Communion, it was just overwhelming. The sense of reverence and thankfulness that we have for the outdoors and all these beautiful views and this trail and each other, and you know, that's something that we'll share again. And we appreciate Angel's mom for sending the cups and the bread for us. And that's a special part of it's going to become a special part of our routine, is to bless the elements and partake of Holy Communion together. And you know, through that, we also draw stronger with each other, but also in our faith in God. And that's a good thing. Well, this is the tail of the tape. We got 5.5 miles to lunch, 12.3 miles to bed. And Crabtree Farm Road, I don't know whether that's important to us or not, but we're gonna head on up through the woods here just in a sec. We've got everybody back together. I accidentally walked off from everybody this morning. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. But we're doing well. It's gonna be a good day of hiking. I think we've seen all we're gonna see. A little up, a little down, a little flat. Move forward at a decent clip, so hopefully that's the way of it. Mountain laurel's still blooming. Isn't that pretty? Those blossoms are just really kind of cool. Smaller flowers, hold still. Smaller flowers than the rhododendron, I think, but still just as pretty. You know, nice trail this morning. Yeah, I think, as I said earlier, I think we've seen all we got today. Is a little up, a little down, a little flat, repeat. So we should be able to make decent time this morning. We're already more than 2 miles in, and I think we've been gone less than an hour, maybe an hour. So we can take that. That's better than we've hiked in a while, but I think everybody's got healthier feet now. Angel got new shoes yesterday, and that's helping her out, because it's not fun walking this thing in shoes that are too small, rubbing blisters, or walking in sandals to avoid getting blisters, because those get rocks underneath the foot, and that's not a lot of fun, and they move around on your feet too much. So she's making great time and feeling a lot better, and I'm really happy for her. So anyway, we're going to move on down the trail and see if there's any views today. This is kind of interesting, because right here, there's the trail. Right here's where a tree used to be, and now all we've got is this decayed mass of probably very fertile soil. Everything's just kind of been eaten completely away over years and over time. Got some nice big rocks up ahead of it, and the trail's just been good to us today, and that's great. We've had a good week. We've had a really good week. Made some new friends, and I think they'll be catching us in a few days. Looking forward back to that. They had So It Goes was not feeling well yesterday, so she headed into town to convalesce a little bit, but I think they'll be back with us in a day or so. And we got to go way downhill slack packing instead of having to carry heavy packs way uphill. That was kind of cool. We got to see Paul and Austin, and that's always nice. So we're blessed to have good friends that have been out to visit us. Got a text from Jill the other day. She's hoping to get out this summer and join us and hike a few days with us. So that'll be really, really, really nice. And kind of reminds us of being blessed all the time. There's a white blaze. And there's a white tree, mountain laurel, blooming. God's good. Check out this sea of green right here. I'm standing on the trail, came from there. And on both sides of the trail, there's nothing but green, waist high, interrupted by a few trees, as far as you can see. And that's really cool. That's awesome. I don't know what this plant is. I thought at first it was nettles, and there may be some sprinkled in there, but don't really think that's what they are anymore. So, I don't know. I took a picture of one. Whenever I can get some service, I'll upload it to iNaturalist. And I did get some other stuff uploaded. I just haven't had a chance to make a video of all that I've seen. So I need to work on that when we're in town this weekend. Got a lot of stuff to do. So anyway, we'll talk to you soon. This is definitely the knottiest tree I think I've seen. Big one right here about head high. And yeah, they just keep going up. There's knots all over this thing. I wonder why. I don't know what causes trees to get those in there. But there's another one around the back there. That's kind of a neat little tree. That one over there is the same kind of tree, but it's not as knotty. So I don't know what causes one to do that and the other one not to. I'll do some Googling on that when I get a chance. Yep, still walking through a sea of green here this morning. It's been a very pleasant walk today. The temperature is down. It's not raining yet. I think it's going to, but it's in the 60s, I bet. Very comfortable day for walking. Thought I heard something. Maybe just a tree limb or something falling back up in there. I don't know. Don't see any movement. Okay, well, I'm gonna ring off and go on up the trail here. And I'm not sure that that's really quite in accordance with leave no trace principles, but it is kind of handy to know that there's water down this little side trail. Hate somebody had to carve in the tree for it. This is a better option. Somebody wrote a little note on a write in the rain paper, and those things don't disintegrate, tied it to a tree. And that's not also that's also not quite leave no trace, but you know, again, it's kind of handy to know that's the water source. But I am good for right now. We've got 2 miles or 4 miles, I think it said, back there to the shelter. That's an hour and a half, probably the way that I'm going right now. So I've got 1.5 liters, and I'm good. I think I'm already halfway to this first shelter nearly. I think it was, well, maybe not quite half, but I've not even drunk a full liter yet, so I'm not going to stop for the water just yet. Going up the rocky trail. Yeehaw. Well, that's a big rock. It's been an interesting afternoon, or morning rather. It's not noon yet. The trail has been fairly gradual. Up a little bit, flat a little bit. Up a little bit, flat a little bit. None of it's been real bad. Not even terrifically rocky. I think I finally reached the ridge line. And I'll probably go down a little bit and flat a little bit for a while. So we'll see how things go, but anyway, we're moving along. Making our way to our first stop, which is the shelter, where we'll have some lunch. And then we'll zip on down to the priest shelter, another 7 miles down. And that's where we're gonna camp or sleep or whatever. We'll see how the weather goes and how full the shelter is and all that kind of jazz. But that's our destination tonight. So we'll talk to you real soon. Well, this is a pretty interesting area. We got a good little spring happening right here, flowing from a lot of different directions, boulder hopping. It's just a great day. Big rock over there. I bet there's a good camp spot here too, I bet. But we're not staying. We're gonna go on to the shelter. It's about 2 miles out. 1.9, I don't remember, I just checked and it's not far. Less than an hour for sure, the way that unless the trail does something crazy. And I think it's not going to, but you don't ever know. So anyway, thought I'd show you this. Not sure this qualifies as the mountain stream of the day, but it's an awfully good spring. So we'll talk to you soon. We're coming to this little valley cut through right here. Probably gonna see some water right here about these rocks. If not, it's just because it's dry. But it's been a good walk today so far. Hope it keeps up. Pretty good trail. Not tons of rocks. Making pretty good time. Yeah, there's been some water. Yeah, there's a little bit flowing. It's not a whole lot. Not sure there's enough there for me to get water, and I don't really have to have water right now, so that's just as well. But anyway, pretty little place where I guess we call this an intermittent stream. It goes on up the way there. And we're probably about half a mile from the shelter where I'm going to stop and eat some lunch, and I'm ready for it because I'm starting to feel like I need some calories. Get some gas in the tank and we'll head on out. Well, this is our shelter where we're stopping for lunch, and I'm excited because I'm hungry. I am about out of gas, and looks like we're not the only ones here. I don't have permission to film, so I'll show you this side, and we'll talk to you again soon. This is a little interesting wide spot here with lots of water. I'm not sure that you'd call it a creek or a stream or what exactly, but there's a lot of water here. There's not much of a good way to get drinking water, but that's all good because I just got drinking water at the shelter back there, but it's kind of a neat little area. Thought I'd show that to you. So we are headed 6.6 on forward to the priest shelter. The fellow there said we ought to camp at the top up there. I'm not real sure about that, or whether to, I don't know what we'll do. We'll figure it out. I know that Bullfrog and Angel will definitely be tenting. In the rain, I'm probably going to be sheltering if there's room, but the sun just came out, so who knows what's going to happen with the weather. Now, here's a place maybe you could get some water if you needed it. But anyway, I hope the trail this afternoon is like it was before lunch. If it is, that should be 2 hours, 2.5 hours out tops, probably, or maybe 3 at the very outset. That's a little better than 2 miles an hour. I'm probably usually somewhere between 2 and 3 miles an hour. So we'll see how things go, and shouldn't be too long getting there. And we'll sit down and eat supper and plan our day for tomorrow. Now please take your picture. There we go. Turn around and look at me. I'm not gonna bother you. You just jumped right in front of me and I didn't jump at you, did I? Big old fat squirrel right there. Here's a big one. He didn't seem too terribly scared of me. He just jumped right across the trail in front of me. Bless his heart, I probably scared him. All right. Well, after lunch, we're heading up the road. I keep thinking I'll see some deer. Walking by myself, I'm a little quieter than 3 or 4 people walking together. I try not to clump and flop around too much. And I haven't seen any yet, but we'll see them eventually. We saw a really big one yesterday from a great distance. I didn't ever try to take a video because it was so far away, but it was probably 50 yards. And man, it was a really big deer. They don't seem too terribly scared of us. I guess they know we don't have guns. Maybe in the national park area they're not hunted, so they haven't really had any reason to learn to be afraid of humans. And that's kind of nice. It's good to see the animals that God made kind of close up. So I'm heading on down the trail, and we'll talk to you after a bit. Well, what the AT hikers do when they come upon a rainstorm, they hike. Raincoat optional. And we found that in the weather when you're not freezing to death, the raincoat is, you're gonna sweat as much as you're getting rained on, so you might just as well enjoy the weather. At least for the moment, that's what we're doing. So we're making the best of what we got. That's all you can do. A little less than 4 miles to the shelter. And there we will shuck off wet clothing and put on dry and be comfortable for the night. Well, this is where a really nice view would be if it weren't raining on us. But we're plowing on up the trail. Gavin's somewhere behind us. I haven't heard from him, and we've got phones on in service, so I'm assuming he's okay, albeit he's likely not real happy to be in the rain. I'm not sure we're happy to be in the rain, but we're okay with it. Because we're moving forward, we're heading on down towards our shelter. We're on this really reminds me of Rocky Face here. This is a huge rock right here that we're standing on. And looking down over, that would be an incredible view right there. We're a little sunnier. But we're going to make the best of our day and move forward. We'll talk to you soon. Well, we are nearing our destination. We've been climbing for the last little while. shelter we're headed to was 0.9 from the bottom of this hill that we've been on. That's an interesting rock formation right there. So we stopped and said, wow. Of course, you know, that means we get the phone out. But, we should be closing in on our shelter any old time, because it feels like we've done more than 0.9 up this hill right here. And we're eager to set up and lay down a little bit, or sit down and rest and eat and do all of our things. And I'll let you know when we get there. Shouldn't be long. Well, it shouldn't be long at all, because it was right past that rock formation with the side trail out to the shelter. So we're about 1/10 of a mile from there. We think we remember that it was a 10th off trail. So far, my theory is it's going to be full, because it's been a rainy afternoon. A lot of folks have passed us, but maybe there'll be some tent spots. Not actually raining much right now, so we can get a tent up in a hurry and be just as dry. We'll see how things go. Frog and Angel leading the way up there. I've been hiking with them after lunch today. Evan's behind a full ways. Got slowed up by the rain, but he is making progress towards where we are. And I'm not worried about him at all. He's doing the right thing and moving forward. I'm very proud of him. He's become quite the outdoorsman. Probably be a little closer to the shelter, but I'm not seeing it yet, so I'm going to stop and walk for a bit. I'll show it to you when we get there. Yeah. Well, shelter, here we are. We have arrived. I don't know whether it's full or not, it doesn't really matter. There looks like there's places that we can throw a tent up if we need to. But it'll be nice to sit down and take off a load. Just chill for a little bit. Eat a little bit. And that sort of thing. So we're all good. This is the priest's shelter. I'm looking forward to looking at the log and signing the log. Holy cow, it is empty. Sleeping indoors tonight, buddy. Awesome. Yeah, buddy. I figured there would be too. Yeah, I mean 4 o'clock is a little early, but all right, I'm gonna ring off here and take my pack off for a little bit.